Today's topic, dress for success. It is success, but you see what I did there? SEXESS. It's a real word. You heard that correctly. This show will be all about what you choose to wear and how it affects your mental and emotional well-being. It's often overlooked, as a matter of fact, as well as for your partner. It's always both ways. A couple must always dress for success in order to stay young and erotically in love. First of all, the most sexy type of clothing to wear, gotta say this before I go any deeper into the topic, is wearing nothing at all. Having hot, steamy, passionate, unforgettable, soul-moving, life-changing, mind-blowing, extremely orgasmic, powerful, unbelievable sex as a completely naked couple is by far the best. You can't top that up with any type of clothing, of course. So let us go ahead and proceed. This show is specifically about wearing the type of clothing that you and your partner both find sexy and erotic. Not just one of you. Whenever possible. I say whenever possible, for example, because obviously in our world, we have to play by the rules. Can't just wear whatever you want in some cases. Maybe most cases. It depends where you're at, what the circumstances are. Sometimes you barely have any choice to be flexible in many areas, where there's a dress code, yada yada. When it comes to staying at home or going out on a romantic day or night together, that's when you both can dress for success. And of course it depends where you're going, but you get the point. This means putting on something that makes you and your partner both smile, thus enhancing each other's attraction to each other, which should be fun and memorable. That's what this is all about, people. We're gonna just go ahead and jump right into it. So let's just jump right into it, okay? Because no use elaborating that right there, because it has everything to do with what precedes. So let's first dive into the obvious. Sexy clothing, such as lingerie. That's right, lingerie. Unfortunately, I can't show images of lingerie because YouTube doesn't allow sexy images. Once upon a time, I tried showing women in bikinis, and YouTube said no. I'm sure everyone at least knows what lingerie looks like, though. Whether you're in a relationship or not, I would really hope so. If you're scared to look at a woman in lingerie, yeah, you might want to fix that. Wear something you both like. Buy different colors to add variety. See which styles you both like the best. Your woman should be like a Christmas tree, so be sure to decorate her with different kinds of sexy combinations. You heard that correctly, like a Christmas tree. Real men love seeing their partner as sexy as possible. You know how a lot of guys out there, they just foolishly go work on their cars for hours and hours, and they just completely just neglect their spouse or their girlfriend. I'm like, wow, that's such an exciting life you have there. Like, yeah, okay, work on your car, work on this and that, but what about the supposed love of your life? Is that how much you guys have fun together? You're like, she has her girly things, I have my manly things, and that's it. Just wrap things up there. That's kind of sad. So, hence the reason why I'm actually talking about this topic. Don't be shy if you're overweight. You have to learn how to be comfortable in your own skin. There is lingerie available for any type of body these days. What matters is building your own sexual confidence. So yeah, hit the gym and make sure you eat correctly most of the week. I mean, you guys can chop some sizes down if that's the case, if you guys are overweight, or if one of you is overweight, set the goals, accomplish them. Yes, you can. Raise your libido and sex drive through the roof by being fun and daring when it comes to clothing. Have fun by either slowly taking all of your clothes off. You know, you gotta be sensual with this stuff. You gotta be erotic, right? Arousing the senses. You know, arousing your own senses, because you should feel sexy in the clothing that you're wearing, and also your partner should feel comfortable in their own sexy clothing. Or you can leave some clothing on while having sex. That's another great idea that many people kind of glaze over. They don't really pay too much attention to that because they're in a rush. It's super sexy when a woman takes everything off except for example, her high heels, her shirt, or her fur coat. Even being completely naked, wearing only a beautiful necklace, so jewelry could be the case. It's highly erotic. If you haven't tried that, I would hope that you do, because that's really appreciating the sexiness of your partner. You know, what does she look like in certain circumstances where clothing is, you know, just this part, or this only this piece of jewelry, maybe just some earrings, maybe a little bit of makeup, maybe no makeup at all. You guys decide. Whatever turns you both on, right? Last but definitely not least, never make love in the dark. Too many people are ashamed of how they look, which only makes a person weaker than they already are. It's a very bad idea. Learn to be comfortable making love in either a dim light fireplace or a fully lighted room. Don't feel ashamed, okay, people? Like, I don't understand how this started, where this started. I understand why people do it. You know, they turn off the lights like just pitch black and then they have sex. I'm like, what is that? That's ridiculous. There's no visual pleasure. I mean, if you guys want to try that once, I guess, but I highly do not recommend that. That's just like, who does that? Apparently a lot of people. And no, you should not be doing that. You're missing, like, I don't know, a huge, almost the whole percentage of what sex is supposed to be. From looking into each other's eyes to admiring each other's bodies, seeing what you're actually doing. I mean, it's just so many reasons I can give for making love in at least a little bit of light, but not too dim either. I mean, you should not be ashamed of yourself. If you're overweight, work on it. But don't feel ashamed of yourself. Just set a goal and go for it. I mean, and if it's just something like maybe a birthmark or, you know, age spots or whatever, like, you got to get over that. You got to dip into that warrior's mindset. That applies to everything in life. So let's go ahead and move on, shall we? All right. Now, one of my most powerful sexual memories, I'm going to go ahead and just share this with you, was when my soulmate wore a sexy, light baby blue sweater while performing oral sex. Yes, I'm going to get a little bit specific. Don't worry, not too specific. Erotically pushing me up against the wall. It was truly unforgettable because of how passionate it all was. We had only been together for almost exactly half a year, and we've already made many sexual experiences together. However, the blue sweater memory by far will forever be my number one memory. All-time best memory. Because of how she aroused me, her intensity, and what she wore that day. So you see, the power of clothing can just stimulate a beautiful memory. Unforgettable. It's not about the clothes specifically, but you'll see. Of course, we have far too many unforgettable memories, which are similar or different compared to that one. But we both completely agree with our top 3 unforgettable memories. All-time unforgettable memories. Sexual moments together is what we're talking about here. Men are especially turned on by what their partner chooses to wear during sex. But, you know, women could be turned on too, but it's just that men are just a bit more visual. You know, when it comes to our memories, but women can be too. It just depends on the personality. But for the most part, men are, I'd say, more visual. But it always goes both ways. It just depends on the personality. Whether it's a skimpy outfit, a sexy costume, skin-tight leggings, jeans, or even gym clothing, the point is to dress in the most sexiest ways you can creatively think of. One of many things that really turns me on, for example, is making love to her when her hair is all nappy in the morning. I'm sure a lot of people like that. You know, when your partner's like, no, I'm a mess. Let me go brush my hair first. I'm like, no, you're not going anywhere. I mean, that look is hot. The hair's all messed up. So if you really love your partner, you can just start to appreciate the things that they don't consider attractive. You know, I'm talking about mature things here, okay, people, not immature things. And just nappy hair is just one of those things that really gets me going. It's just, It's like every morning it's a different type of nappy. So technically that can be seen as a clothing effect because it gives you stimulates that unforgettable memory. And it's just totally it's random because when you brush your hair, you're brushing it the same way every day, most likely. And maybe you have a few different styles that you switch between, but for the most part it's going to look the same one way or another. So when you wake up with this messy hair, it's just like this beautiful, abstract artwork. It's like, okay, which way it's going to look today? It's just for some reason, there's just that morning where you're like, wow, now this is a work of art. And for some reason, nature just does what it does. It's remarkable. But let's go ahead and proceed here. So the reason I'm describing all of this in detail, aside from clothing, is because you both have to create unforgettable moments together. Memories. What you wear can be fun and exciting and doesn't have to be boring or mediocre. Humans are highly visual creatures, and auditorily speaking also, but that's another topic. So learn how to arouse your partner's eyes, okay? So what do you see before you? Do you really see your partner passionate, and just full of desire? Because if they're not, that's kind of a red flag, like something's going on. Hey, what's going on? Are you living in the present moment? Are you worried about something? I just did a stream about that. We don't want stress in the relationship. You want to be able to focus on things like this because a lot of people might say, oh, who has time to dress for SEXESS? Who has time for those silly little things? You should. That's why you're living such a miserable life, a lifestyle. You're not happy about anything. Well, I'm talking about spicing up your life here. And if you just say, well, it's just clothes, who cares? You're in the wrong place. I can't help you. Because you don't want to try new things. So if you're saying that, if the shoe fits, I really hope that you think the other way. You really highly, reconsider. Because it's these little things. And you've heard the saying, life is about the little things, the small things. Stop and smell the roses. This is one of the roses. Because it's not just clothing, and I'll go over that as we proceed here. So let's go ahead and move on, shall we? Let's talk about the men for a moment. If your partner loves to see you, for example, in a suit and tie, many women do. I can understand that. But also understand, women out there, that if the temperature outside is brutally hot or not cool enough, the last thing you want to do is be uncomfortable just to please your partner. Nobody should feel obligated to wear something they simply don't feel like wearing either. However, do your best to impress your partner whenever possible. If the temperature, for example, is right and you feel comfortable to put on that suit and tie, go for it. Because that's what she likes, if that's the case. Even if you don't like something at first, be brave and give it your best shot. You may eventually enjoy wearing things that you were once uncomfortable wearing before. Be daring. Always be open to try new things, such as wearing different types of clothing for your partner. So it's all about that visual sensation, right? The same, of course, applies to almost everything you both do together. Always be adventurous. Don't just dish out a lazy, no, I'm not doing that. I don't feel like doing that. That's just so boring. You don't want to be with somebody like that. You don't want it. An entire life of somebody saying, no, I don't feel like that. No, that's boring. No, I think you're boring. You got to fix that. Attitude and passion is everything, people. It's the difference between the stars or digging a hole in the ground. Nobody wants to dig a hole in the ground. So saying no, which only promotes mediocrity and unwanted barriers between you both. Learn to train yourself to do whatever it takes to please each other. As I always say, how deep is your love? Are you willing to go the distance? So, you're not just dressing up for each other like you're some stuffed animal. Like Elvis Presley says, I just want to be your teddy bear. It's not like that. You should want to be your partner's teddy bear, but I'm not talking about mom said wear this and dad said don't wear that. I'm not talking about an authoritative figure here. I'm simply talking about a couple that's truly in love. Hey, what do you want me? It happens. It's the classic cliche. She comes up to you and says, honey, which dress looks better, the blue one or the red one? And then a lot of guys, they think about it way too much. They just overthink it's just so crazy. They overthink the heck out of the situation. They're like, I don't know, honey, whatever you want. That's not the answer she wants. She really legit wants your opinion. Just tell her which one. And if you don't have an opinion, that's sad. That's truly sad. You should always have an opinion. You should always have an answer. That's called being mature, responsible, wise, intelligent. You should always have something to say. And hopefully it's something positive. Unless something has to be dealt with. But this is not a situation to deal with something. She's openly asking you, which one do you prefer? And guess what? If you prefer the blue dress and she says, well, I like the red dress. Oh, okay, honey, that's fine. If you really like the red dress, then go with the red dress. I'm just telling you that I like the blue dress. You see, you're being humble. And you're respecting her gustos, right? So if she likes the red dress and you say the blue dress, maybe she might change, maybe she doesn't. It doesn't matter. As long as she's happy and she knows what you like. And she could tell you the same. Hey, honey, could you wear that black shirt, the one with this on it, or that polo shirt, the yellow one? And, you say, well, you know what? It's a little bit hot out there. Maybe I'm just going to go with this shirt over here. Or you guys got to talk to each other. It's not about controlling each other and manipulating each other to, be the teddy bear that you get to dress, by force. That's not what this is. Talking about clothes, you might think, oh, it's just clothes. Who cares? No, it's about organization, collaboration, right? You got to talk to each other, communication, right? It is important because today it's clothing, tomorrow it's how to do chores a specific way or what to cook next, in the kitchen. Real men know how to cook and clean. So help your woman out, right? She shouldn't be the only one doing these things. Yada, yada, yada. Let's go back to clothing, shall we? All right. Even if you're wearing basic Walmart clothes, just because you both don't care, as I was saying before, about your appearance, that's fine. But don't do that all the time, okay? Wearing, cheap clothing, Walmart clothing. Look, don't do it all the time. Have some self-respect and pride in yourself. Almost every style of clothing has a certain level of comfort. So why not try, right? Look, the point is to never just go through the motions in life, always dressing the same. Like we're like Simpsons characters or something. Or almost never dressing for success or SEXESS. But yourself, at least, just buy yourself at least one new shirt every month. Treat yourself to a new pair of pants. And if you're a woman, a new dress, or it doesn't have to be a whole wardrobe of new clothing. Nobody's expecting that. I mean, if you can afford that, go ahead. If that's what you want to do. I'm not advising that, but go ahead. But just at least invest in your image. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to go buy a bunch of suits and the most expensive this and that. And for women out there, you don't have to buy a bunch of expensive handbags and yada yada. Look, to each their own. I don't know what your guys' budgets are, but something new, right? It could be a cheap shirt, a cheap pair of jeans or whatever, shorts. It's not about the price. It's about getting something new for yourself to build up that wardrobe, right? To have more options, more variety. It's not about impressing others, because I know a lot of people are going to say that. It's about impressing yourself and your partner. Even kings and queens wore their royal crowns on top of their heads, battle armor when the time occurred, and incredible capes, these royal capes that just brushed the floor, the kingdom floor. In life, you are not meant to live as a nobody with no style or excitement. If you and your partner both don't care at all about the clothes you wear, then it's time for both of you to start trying out new kinds of clothing. Because life is all about variety, fun, and endless excitement. Don't deny yourself such an enjoyable, life-changing experience, because it could be life-changing. Once you start respecting yourself and doing something positive for yourself, you'll feel good about yourself. And especially if you go to the gym and eat correctly, because you're going to change yourself. The number one item of clothing, like I said before, is to not have any clothing. That's the most important thing, being comfortable in your own skin. That's what I said in the very beginning before I even talked about clothing, so don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that clothing is a must. I'm saying you're missing out on the fun that clothing is. clothing each other, clothing yourselves. So live like a king and queen, eternally in love, just like the fairy tales. Every day is a new opportunity to shine brighter than yesterday. If you are living alone, if that's the case, with no one to love, stop wasting precious time. Read my book and watch my 1-hour video course, because love is life. That means you have no life if you have no love, nobody to love. Don't panic. I'm not calling you a no life or a low life. I'm just saying that stop wasting time. Now, don't go out there and rush. And that's what I have, over 100 some odd streams about how to go about it. And also my book and 1-hour video course, which are almost 1,000 hours worth of hard work, laser-like focus, to help you accomplish that very goal. To find a potential soulmate. To not waste time with people who are toxic, covert narcissists, the scum of the earth in disguise. A wolf in sheep's clothing, whatever you want to call it. I'm here to save you time. To help you save your own lives. And, from getting discouraged and saying, well, now love doesn't exist because I messed up so many times. I can't find love. Yada, yada, yada. Love doesn't exist. Soulmates don't exist. Yeah, because you don't know how to find the perfect potential partner. That's the problem. So when I'm talking about clothing in this show, I'm specifically talking to those who already have a partner. Now, if you don't have a partner, think about this. They should be fun when you finally do meet somebody. Hopefully you go with the friendship first, because that's what I always say. Don't play the dating game. I did a few shows on that already. The dating game is pretending to be somebody you're not, and you're wasting precious time of your life. It may work, it may not work, but chances are it's not going to work. It's just like going to the lotto and just pulling that little lever down. Okay, is this going to work? And then you wonder why the divorce rate is so high and people just fail to find, somebody to love truly out there. And let me get some misconception out of the way also. People think that a soulmate is one person in this world. No, it's that person who's willing to go the distance for you. So, it might be several people as candidates, but don't go trying to look for all of them. Just that one person who is first in line somewhere out there. You don't go one for one in a line. I'm just saying that whoever is first to come into your life and shows the best, most promising candidacy, if you will. So don't pass it up and think, oh, is the grass greener with the next person in line? No, don't do that, okay? Because, I've met actually people out there, I call them males because they don't deserve to be called men. They play with people's hearts. They say, yeah, I've been with this woman for half a year and it's time to break up because it's been half a year. Like a Tom Cruise situation with 3 years only and then move on to the next one. It's really sad. And it's really heartbreaking to hear such things, playing games with people's hearts like that. So in this show, I'm talking about having fun with clothing, whether it be lingerie or regular casual clothes or Walmart clothes. But the point is to keep things fun and exciting, okay, people? You guys should be able to look at each other and be like, wow, you're looking pretty good today. And if you guys got to go work in the garden or work on the car or whatever, you're going to get messy, yeah, go ahead and toss on those gym clothes, the old worn out, holes in the shirt. Look, I get it. I'm just talking about, have some self-respect for yourself. Dress yourself up whenever possible. Buy something nice for yourself. It's not just about jewelries and handbags and a new car or whatever. Like, look into the clothing. You can probably surprise yourself and be like, wow, I'm not even a suit guy, but this suit looks mighty nice on me. And people actually treat me with more respect. Maybe I should wear this more often whenever possible. Whenever the temperature is nice and cool out there. And I can wear a suit without sweating. Because, everybody sweats in those suits. Doesn't matter if you're thick or thin. So just that's something to think about, food for thought. But it is pretty cool, when you put on the suit. People do treat you differently. It's sad, but true, but not so sad because, well, you're doing something positive for yourself. Looking better than you normally would. All right, so hope you guys learned something from this, or at least reminded about something special, which is don't forget to dress for SEXESS, because that's the whole point of this show. It's not just success with your job or finding new opportunities out there, you know, career-wise. I'm talking about SEXESS. How you look to your partner, how your partner looks to you, how you guys both look together. Reach for the stars. Have fun with it. And with that said, much love, everybody.